Welcome to Microsoft Partner Secrets, where we uncover and explore what top Microsoft partners do to grow faster than their competition. Here's your host, Per, Microsoft Advisory Board member and the 5-term worldwide president of the International Association of Microsoft Channel Partners.
Welcome to the Microsoft Partner Secrets podcast. And together with me today, I have the pleasure of having Marissa Maldonado from Proda Technology in Georgia with me. So welcome, Marissa. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. It's the first full week back after the holidays, so I'm excited and refreshed and ready for the new year. We've got a lot of really exciting things that we're doing here at Proda, so there's a lot of really excited energy right now. So I'm doing great.
Terrific. And you're based in Atlanta?
That's right. Mm-hmm. We're right by the Brave Stadium, if anyone is a baseball fan. So we had the pleasure when they won the World Series, our whole office was able to walk to the parade together. So that was a huge memory for us over here.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's start by talking a little bit about Proda Technology. You have been around for more than a decade now.
Yeah. So my brother, actually, my middle brother, so they joke over here because I'm the boss baby. I'm the baby of the family, but the CEO and co-founder of this organization. My middle brother started it when he was in his early 20s, and he built a book of business and had his journey. And then I joined him 15 years later. And he said, "Hey, I built myself a job. Would you like to transform this into a business?" So when I joined forces with him, we turned it into an LLC and changed our name and started putting processes in place. And we started it in his basement, and brick by brick, slow and steady and methodical, we built our company into what it is now.
And you are more than 40 people, am I right?
Almost. We're 37 people, growing fast. We have 4 open positions. So once we fill those open positions, we will be over 40, and then breaking into the over 10 million. I call it the sandbox, the playground that we're going to get to play in, and being an over $10 million MSP.
And what was the secret sauce for turning your brother's job into a fully fledged business?
Oh, the secret sauce. Well, I joke and I say the secret sauces are the Maldonados of the family, the values that we had growing up. So both of our parents, my mom immigrated here from Mexico and my dad from Puerto Rico. We're first generation, and we were first generation college graduates as well. And our parents put just like built into our core DNA of you work hard to get what you want, and you stay true to your values, and you protect the people that you love. So that really created the foundation of who we are over here. Of there's no shortcuts. Anytime someone tries to sell me a shortcut, I'm not interested in doing it. Even in the very beginning, when we were building out the foundation and the business plan, and we had a potential business partners that we were thinking about, and they were selling me shortcuts. We work hard, we stay the course, we have a good strategy, we protect each other, and we stay true to our core values. That's the secret sauce. And for me individually, the secret sauce was I put all the hats on to start with. So I've held every single role that now is held by others. And we systematically took one hat off at a time. And that has allowed us to grow it to where it is today. And the key is when you take the one hat off, you hire someone that's smarter than you. And all of a sudden, you are surrounded by a room of experts that are all excellent in their roles, and they are lifting me up so I can focus on the bigger vision in this organization. So it's great. It's awesome. I'm having such a good time.
Beautiful. And if I have understood correct, you have specialized on a few verticals. You are not everything for everyone, but you are something specialized for a small set of verticals.
That's right. So our biggest vertical is healthcare. Specialty groups, privately owned specialty groups, large super groups, going into the hospital world. I kind of was like, I don't want to do hospitals, but we're doing hospitals now. The financial industry. So wealth investment, in all, we call it alternative funds. So everyone but banks in the financial world. Then nonprofits actually emerged as a vertical, which is something that I am very passionate about. And of course, manufacturing. There's a huge manufacturing industry here in Atlanta. But what we saw in the trend of those verticals, they accidentally grew as we were building the company, it was we were specializing in organizations that have regulatory requirements, even nonprofits, because the regulatory requirements is the board for those nonprofits. So that has become our niche focus of what we do really well.
And if you look at your services that you're providing to these verticals, what services are most successful? What services are most in demand?
So, gosh, all of them. But I mean, we started right at the beginning of the break fix era of IT, and we were right at the beginning of turning them into contracts and having an all-inclusive. And so Carlos and I saw the service desk, the help desk, as kind of the canary in the coal mine. It was the data that we got for those clients to provide these other services for them. It was our way of being able to see patterns, deficiencies. And with those deficiencies, we found ways to automate them and streamline them, making sure applications were integrated. So all of those consulting services were the consulting professional services that we bundled with them. Of course, back in the day, I'd say hardware, right? Servers and all of that. But the thing that has always held steady is the professional services around optimization of the applications that they use, which the majority of it is Microsoft. So, you know, when I was still wearing the service delivery hat, we were early adopters of SharePoint and really starting to drive the adoption of it. Oh, those were so much fun projects when I was, every now and then I daydream about, I remember the good old days when I was actually doing the work, and it was so much fun of being able to go into the clients and consult them with very successful, very profitable projects that we were working on them, of how to actually apply SharePoint and all of the tools and Microsoft Flow at the time, and all, like, how do you actually use it in your organization and how do you adopt it with your team? That was some of the most successful things. I would contribute that being the differentiator that allowed us to grow for the first 15 years without marketing, because it was just word of mouth, because we just knew how to do it. And once we did one successful one, 3 more were knocking on our door.
That's great. And it sounds like the foundation is your service desk, and then you sell projects on top of that.
Correct. Our professional services side. Mm-hmm.
And I love that model, because then you have a recurring revenue stream that is kind of giving you a great night's sleep, because you know what your revenue will be the next month from those recurring revenue contracts.
Right. I mean, just talking about from growing the organization, I mean, goodness gracious, I've made so many mistakes along the way. But one thing that I was able to do with this model, my brother and I, was we kept reinvesting in the organization, right? Because we had that predictability in our cash flow. Now, the one, you know, I see it so many times where people are like, ooh, reoccurring revenue, I love it. I'm like, but it's hard, because you have to justify the value of that revenue every single month, or else your reputation falls apart. So that's why I see a lot of organizations that aren't doing it well, is because they're thinking about the reoccurring revenue first versus the value first, right? So that has really evolved our evolution of professional services side, because we say we have this reoccurring revenue, we have to deliver on this, and it has to be the best. And we also have to have these professional services, because if we don't, they'll find someone else to do it. And then that someone else is going to take that reoccurring revenue, because that's just what you do in business. So being able to do both in tandem at the very beginning for us was really hard, because you're on call 24/7 when you're starting the company, because you have reoccurring revenue. And then you have to deliver professional services and have proper scope and timeline and deliverables and strategic meetings and putting on the suit and going to the clients and all that and traveling and all. So balancing the two at the very beginning was work. It was a lot of work. But now we're at the growth and size of the organization where I'm like, I have departments that do this. I have experts that do it. And one does it and the other does it. And they both do it really well. And I can sleep a lot better at night. Now I have kids, so I can't say I sleep better at night, but my anxiety is a little bit lower, but they do keep me up.
So. That's great to hear. So, yeah. So like when you are in the recurring revenue game, you probably early on realized that you needed to like measure customer satisfaction, because that is what really kills recurring revenue. If customers are not happy, as you said, they will, if you don't justify the value every month, they will go elsewhere or you just cancel.
100%. I would say that is one of the most important KPIs that I keep an eye on now, especially as it's grown. You know, the second that I see it starting to slip, everyone stop, right? Everyone stop. What is happening? What's going on? Are we understaffed? Is there a technology that's disabling that client from being successful and being satisfied? Like, what is happening? So we see those moments of dissatisfaction as opportunities. And that has been a cultural pillar that I've been very, very passionate about. So we'll even, to the point that we have a process in place for when I call it when we fumble the ball. So it's an American football term. I always joke, I always make these analogies of sports, but I'm like not really into sports, but don't tell anyone. But when
As a Swede, I'm more into skiing and ice hockey.
Okay, so whatever analogy for ice hockey of, you know, we missed the goal, right? We missed the score. We should have gotten it. And I make my team pause to come together and find out why and be curious about it and make up for it. Because I think if there's ever moments of customer satisfaction, and let's be honest, we're in IT and we have unpredictable operating systems, AKA humans. We're the unpredictable operating systems. So things are going to happen. So we have to really look at those as opportunities, and how do we deliver the outcome of those opportunities to the client that's dissatisfied? Because it's, you know, if you look at the touch points for a client, even if there's dissatisfaction in the middle of that interaction, if your final touch point is satisfaction and you've actually fixed a process in your organization or in their organization, then you come out flying at that point, right? You're better than you were before. So just that mindset of positivity around those moments of friction. But to your point, Per, you have to find a way to track it, right? So we have every ticket comes with how did we do with a software that we have integrated with our ticketing system. We have monthly NPS interviews that go out from our technical account management team, so the client services team. So we are constantly just getting that data. And another part of this is we are also constantly getting that data of how satisfied our employees are, because you have to do two, right? You need them both. So we have monthly employee NPS anonymous surveys in our organization, quarterly check-ins from surveys, and then we have a lot of one-on-one time with them on it. We also have a group at our organization called Proda Spark. And Proda Spark is a quarterly meeting where people come together, and the intention is, give me your ideas. What's working, what's not working? And then we actually put systematic approaches to actually building out the ideas of the team, because I'm just like, the best way to innovate is to innovate like in the trenches with the people that are actually doing the things. It was a weird mindset shift for us, where I'm like, I am no longer the one that has the capacity to innovate the way that they innovate, because I'm not doing the things anymore. I have to create a culture that encourages that to happen. And with that success, that's how you, right? That's how you really, really start building a lot of high impact momentum in your organization. So again, it's so much fun. I really, really enjoy it. It's a very complicated puzzle to solve, because you are working with, again, the unreliable operating system, the person. You don't know the output that you're going to get from the input that you're putting into it. So it's a constant experiment. And I always joke, the moment that I think everything is perfect, the moment that I think our clients are all happy, and the moment I think all of our employees are happy, if I have that false narrative that everything is perfect and I can kind of step back from it, it comes crashing down. So it is a continuous thing that you never stop doing. So I think that's what you see a lot of organizations I've seen, where they get frustrated because they have to keep doing it. And I'm just like, that's your job now. That's what you do. You make sure that you're giving proper inputs for these individuals to give the output of happy clients, happy employees. And when you have those two, then
Beautiful.
Magic. The magic
Beautiful.
happens. Yeah.
Beautiful. People first and being humble. I love that.
Yes.
Love that. Great. That is perhaps your most important secret for success, perhaps.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So shifting gears a little bit, what is your experience working with Microsoft?
Complicated, but awesome. So, when we started, we were like, oh man, we had it set up all incorrect. And we weren't properly with the CSP program. And that was when I hired a really well-experienced operations person who became our COO. And he's like, why are you doing it like this? I'm like, I don't know. We're just doing it. We're just adding them into this portal. And he's like, but you're not taking advantage of Microsoft. And I'm like, well, I thought that taking advantage of Microsoft was actually knowing Microsoft and being able to sell professional services to our clients. And I think I'm taking advantage of Microsoft because my book of business and our growth is great and being a champion of this. And then he's like, but there's so much more opportunity. So we kind of just opened the door and we started starting to align ourselves with having proper resellers and now having designation. And now we're going through direct communication with Microsoft now. And what I've found, and I've been to a couple of Microsoft conferences, what I've seen in the evolution of Microsoft, they did something very, what's the right word? Transformational. They started actually listening to the SMBs, the small, medium size, or SMECs that we call them now. Started listening to the businesses. And I remember that key moment when SharePoint Online had first come to be, and I was playing around with it, testing it out in our own environment. And I was like, it's not ready. It's not ready. It's not ready. And I remember the moment when I saw an update of it where it moved into the Microsoft 365 bundle and they changed the UI and how it all integrated with all these different apps and they were all included. I remember having that moment of just like, oh, they get it. They're listening. They did it. And that was like, boom, I got a ticket to Seattle, went to a SharePoint conference. And like, that was the start of us really becoming Microsoft consultants. And that same feeling is now where I am again with Microsoft of, oh, you get it. Oh my gosh, you understand it. Okay, this is awesome. This actually works in these businesses. You're actually putting a lot of methodologies in place to make this accessible for all. So just as Microsoft was like, we're going to make computers accessible for all, now we're making smart AI solutions accessible for all. So it's that same level of excitement that I had 10, 15 years ago that I'm having right now where we're at with the evolution of Microsoft. So I'm super excited about it. And now that we've gone through the steps where we're at to have direct access to Microsoft of how to evolve our partnership and our relationship with Microsoft is super exciting. So we're now in direct conversation with them about becoming a frontier partner and what does that take and what are we doing and putting the proper skill sets and certifications for our team over here. So it's just, I mean, I could go on and on of how excited I am about it because I think that businesses have a lot of obstacles that they have to go through. All of it, changes in regulation, cash flow, the services, the industry. There's so many different obstacles they have to go through. But Microsoft is allowing them to create one thing of like standard stability, which is the operating system that they are relying on to bring everything together. So this next evolution that Microsoft is helping charge ahead with of being the hub and the spoke, because it's old hub spoke of hardware, right? Hub spoke. Now hub spoke with intelligence and AI, and the hub being what Microsoft and Copilot is doing, and the spoke being all the different other applications and things that they need to run their businesses to be successful in. So seeing how they are able to make these tools and systems for these businesses is very exciting for me. And I'm really, really honored to be part of this because I see that this is such a, not to use their terminology, frontier. It's exciting to be on this frontier and looking at the horizon of how businesses are going to evolve, and to be part of that conversations with businesses is just so cool. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And that is something that I often hear, that when a partner decides to invest in their Microsoft relationship, they will get a good return on that investment. But you need to decide,
right,
to make the investment.
Exactly. Deciding to decide is the hardest part of all of it, right? Making that decision and opening that door for us in our organization. So a little bit of the strategy that we put behind there, we started with it being, we wanted to go through the Microsoft maturity model, and we had that as an annual goal in our organization. So we operate on EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. So I might say ROC, I might use their terminology, but so we had it as an annual goal and we were chipping away at it, but I felt like we were kind of running in circles a little bit. So that was when we decided to decide. And I was just like, okay, we need to go to the mothership directly. And it was the first time in 14 years of building this company where I was just like, I now have the capacity, space, team, and resources to go to the mothership, right? Go to Microsoft to understand this deeper. And through those conversations and exploration, the exploration was about, it was a rock. It was a 90-day rock of exploring. That's how I came to be at Ultimate Partners for the first time and go to that conference, because I didn't know anyone there, but I was on my path, right? I had my backpack on and I was on this journey, and coming to that really helped show the mothership of like what you need to do intentionally. So this coming year, so we're actually coming into our planning for the year of what does it actually mean to be customer zero? We did it accidentally during SharePoint, right? We accidentally became customer zero. And what I was doing when I was, just little old me consultant working out of my brother's basement was, hey, check out our SharePoint site. Look at all these things you can do. That's amazing. We need this in our organization. Yes, you do. We will help you. Now it's a next level of intelligence of what it is and what does it mean to be customer zero. So now we're walking that path around the designations around team voice, co-pilot, integrations, governance, all of those things. And like, what does that actually mean to be customer zero on a higher operational maturity level? So it goes hand in hand, right?
And customers love it because then you're trustworthy. You are using that technology yourself that you try to convince customers to use. So
exactly. Because, and then it's just like, imagine going back into the impact of our team. If my whole team at Proda is really excited about this, they are going to be really excited to talk about it with our clients.
Yes.
Right. I've never been in a mindset that I do sales. It's never been about, if you ask me, what's your sales methodology? I'll be like, I don't know. I don't have one.
I was going to ask you, how do you find customers?
Yeah. So, well, it was always about educating. So customer zero is about giving the stage for my entire organization to be able to educate. Before we were just winging it and doing it. But once we kept growing with our operational maturity level growing to where we're at now, we're soon to be over 40 employees. Now we have to have a framework behind it, right? We can't just do it, just everyone do this, right? That's not, again, going back into the input output of unreliable operating systems of people. So, having this customer zero concept, and we're training the people every single day. Now all of a sudden I have 40 salespeople, right? That's how we sell. That's how we grow our organization, through referrals of the book of business that we currently have. I'll tell you one funny story contributing to the success of our organization. We didn't really build out a marketing engine until the beginning of last year.
Wow.
Because it was just organic, natural education. I am very passionate about speaking with networks of entrepreneurs who are building their businesses. And usually I'm actually going in there and talking about the operational maturity level of their organization. I'm not talking about tech stack. I'm not even talking about Microsoft. I might be talking about Microsoft from an operational maturity level concept, but I'm talking about their businesses. And that's how we've sold, because it's just like, it's us coming to them and being like, business to business, we have the same motivations and the same passion, which is to see success of these businesses. So now I have a sales team. Now we're developing. So now we're walking that path in our operational maturity level now. So again, I'm thrilled because I feel like we're just getting started. And there's so much momentum right now of just all of these new emerging technologies that we have coming out.
Yeah, it sounds like you have really the foundation for growth. So
yes, yeah.
So do you have any advice for a Microsoft partner that wants to embark on a successful journey, or like a mistake to avoid?
Well, a mistake one to avoid, find a way to make sure you take advantage of the the things that Microsoft provides for you, right? Making sure that you're part of the profitability of Microsoft. I think that is one thing that I was like, oh boy, I was leaving money on the table for many years. Okay. That would be like step one, right? Especially if you're embarking on this. The step two that I thought was really interesting was There is power in being a leader and voice for the industries you serve around how to optimize Microsoft. There's a lot of power in that. So going back into my methodology of like, well, how did I do it? I just focused on educating. So if you change your mindset around that to be like, my job is to educate you. And the way that I say this with Microsoft, I say, you already have it. You already have it. And even when people push back, I'm like, but you already have it. Unless you're all Mac computers, okay, sure, yes, all right. But if you already have it, why not maximize what you have? Because it makes sense on your balance sheet, on your sheet, on your bottom line, on all the things. It makes sense to take advantage of what you already have. And so kind of being able to reframe that mindset to be able to build that influential voice, then you have a lot of power of navigating the Microsoft ecosystem, of being a leading voice, of educating the businesses. We are advocates of it. I always joke I'm like, back in the day when I was doing work and doing client projects and getting to do presentations and adoption change management projects with them around Microsoft, I'd always used to say, I'm like, I do not have any financial affiliation with Microsoft. I do not have any stocks with them. I wish I did, but I don't, because I invested in my company. But this is why I love Microsoft so much. And so it came from just like a deep passion for it. The other thing that I would say is what I've learned in my journey with Microsoft, and now I kind of joke about it, I'm like, do you guys intentionally change acronyms quickly to make it complicated by design so that you can make sure it's the top tops that are in your, like in the inner circle of the mothership? And I kind of found out that it's kind of a little bit of a chuckle, and things change a lot over here. So knowing that Microsoft itself is changing is really important for you to be nimble and able to adapt and evolve with where they're going. And honestly, the only way that you can truly do that is being with a bunch of peers that are going through it and experiencing it with you together. So me getting back out on the road, focused on the Microsoft community, has wildfire growth for us and strategy for what we're doing with Microsoft. So those, be ready to go into those rooms with the right mindset. And then once you're in those rooms, it's wildfire. Once you are able to have more intimate conversations with people of what you're supposed to be doing in order to leverage Microsoft for your clients. Beautiful.
Sounds like you are a great ambassador for give and give, not just give and get. Give and give is so much nicer.
Right. The get is an outcome that I'm not worried about, because I have faith that will reward us, right, of having a good company. And it's about having good careers for the team that works here.
Yes.
Right. It's the opportunities that I'm giving to my employees, and everything else just falls in place.
Beautiful. So thank you so much, Marissa, for sharing your secret sauce for how to become a successful Microsoft partner. And I think that Proda Technology, which you as the leader, has so much more to get.
I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm like 15 years into doing this, and I'm like, ooh, we're just getting started. Now it's getting fun. So I'm very, very excited of what we have planned for even the next 12 months. It's going to be awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you. So prodatechnology.com, based in Atlanta, Georgia, a powerhouse of success.
Thank you so much for having me on your podcast, Per. It's just such a pleasure. And you're one of the people that I'm so grateful that I've met along this journey, because you're just a lovely human being. So it's just a great honor to be in your company. So thank you.
Thank you. And likewise, it's mutual. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Join us again next time as we explore more secrets of successful Microsoft partners. And if you're selling Azure subscriptions, be sure to check out the easiest and fastest way to increase revenue and margin on those subscriptions, the Idenxt partnership. We enable you to offer Managed Azure Services to your customers with zero operational burden for you. To learn more, go to idenxt.com. That's IDENXT.com.